In this week's episode, we are talking about February being an 11 universal month. This is a really big month because we are starting a new manifestation theme, and that is, what are you really waiting for? If you don't take a chance on yourself now, then are you going to still sit around and wait? Because opportunities are going to be coming your way. We're also covering a new trend that started, the jellyfish haircut. That and more in this week's episode. Welcome to this week's AstroTea show. This is a new show that I'm starting. You're going to get this show every single week. It's exclusive for the podcast that I have. You will not be getting it from any other platform. It is just going to be accessible on all podcast platforms. This show is intended to be your bite-sized astrology update for the week ahead. I am intending to make it quick, fun, and full of manifestation insights because, let's be real, we really need all the help that we can get, okay? Life has been crazy lately. Now, if you're here for the first time, welcome. My name is Aylin Sky. I'm your go-to astrologer for any astrology insights, numerology, and manifestation tools. That is what I love to focus on. I'm also known for cutting through the noise and delivering the most important messages to you, kind of like your astrology BFF, but with receipts from the universe. Before we dive into today's episode, I would love to invite you to subscribe and connect with me. DM me your astrology insights or questions for the next episode. On Instagram or on TikTok, you can find me at Astro Sky Aylin. Now let's begin. The sun is in Aquarius this week, moving from 15 degrees to 21 degrees. This is from Monday until Sunday. This week, it's all about momentum. You're going to feel the momentum. We're going to step into a fresh new energy. It's like the real start of 2025. You're going to feel the energy kind of coming on midweek. Let's be honest, January was a tutorial round for a lot of us. I know that I have been seeing a lot on Instagram that has been kind of making fun of January. It was like the never-ending month, and I absolutely agree with this because Mars has been in its full glory of its retrograde phase. And so now we're actually going to start to play the game of the new year. The past few weeks may have felt draining, like running on 1% battery from time to time, but refusing to close the 87 open tabs. I mean, that is what it felt like for me. But now, boom, we are rebooted. We are going into a reboot the system type of energy. The biggest thing that I want to cover for this week's astrology is Jupiter moves direct at 11 degrees in Gemini, which basically means we're about to get a cosmic yes. It's like the yes in your email inbox. It's like the phone call that you have been waiting for. Expect good news, clarity, and exciting new opportunities that are going to be starting this midweek. It's not just going to be this week, it's going to continue on. Of course, there's going to be some plot twists here and there. There might be some other things that you may have to take on that you didn't expect, but we're going to cover that as the weeks unfold. The manifestation theme this week is going to be, what are you waiting for? This is going to be coming up big time. That's what I'm seeing when I'm taking a look at the astrology. If you don't take a chance on yourself now, are you planning to wait until your next life? You know, that is sort of like the biggest manifestation theme this week and kind of this month, you guys. Like, I feel like it's really just going to be about that because not only is February an 11 universal month, but this year is a numerology of 9. And 9 is going to be about taking action. 9 is going to be about being in a place where we're willing to say that action is the only thing that is actually going to change us and actually going to make us move into directions that make us happy or that are exciting or that are new. And so it kind of starts this week with this, what are you waiting for? You know, if not now, when are you going to do it? And that is sort of the energy, the manifestation theme this entire week. Now, the numerology insight for this month is February is an 11 universal month. And that means that we're pushing to collaborate. We got to collaborate with somebody else. The 11 stands for me as an individual and then another person as an individual. And together we got to align. And it is sort of the search is ending to align with the right people for success. Something is happening this month. If you're paying attention, you will have the right people come in front of you, the right situations come in front of you that will help you to understand that you are in the right place at the right time. That is the energy all throughout the month. And it starts to kind of kickstart this week. It's a really nice energy. Now, speaking of fresh energy, have you seen the jellyfish haircut trend at the Emmys? I have to say something about this because just in the Aquarius fashion, it was very unique to see that. The jellyfish haircut, I kind of looked it up on Google, and it said it's a modern take on a Japanese Heim cut. Basically a bob with long layers. I don't know if you guys seen some of the celebrities basically showing up with this haircut. It was just sort of really interesting to see it because I had not seen this haircut since the 90s, actually, when I left Germany. And it was so interesting and funny to see it come back. Astrology is so real. There are so many patterns that go on. And it's really interesting. This haircut, to me, says I manifest abundance, but I also fight demons. You know, I feel like if you like sort of cartoons or you like certain anime type of, movies, you will appreciate the look of this haircut. So it'll be interesting to see if this is going to be going on or not, but I thought I wanted to highlight that because that was a really interesting observation for me as an astrologer. Now let's talk about the emotional themes for a little bit for this week. Emotional reset and cutting ties. That's really what I'm seeing. The moon starts in Aries, conjunct Chiron. So yes, some old anger patterns are going to pop up early in the week. This is going to be very normal. There's some triggers that come up here. Like when someone takes your parking spot and you suddenly remember every grudge you've ever held onto since kindergarten and you have this meltdown. It's like you're going into Sprouts or you're going into Whole Foods and there it is. You're fighting for the parking spot and you think that everything is rainbow and lollipops and, the sky is, bright, the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and here comes somebody cutting you off, and then all of your anger starts to come up. So the beginning of the week can have a tone like this. Then we go into midweek and then there's a shift. We realize at some point here during the week that we're done wasting our energy on things that don't really work. It's like realizing you've been arguing with a bot in the comment section. I don't know if you've ever realized this before. I know that when I realized that I was arguing with bots in my DMs or in the comment section, I was finally free. I was like, oh my God, I am talking to something artificial. Why have I been wasting my time? That is sort of the realization that is coming in midweek. Now, the other thing that I kind of crowned as a theme for this week was cutting ties. And that is because we are at some point when the moon starts to move past Jupiter towards Mars. There is going to be a moment where we have a bold emotional shift, and it's leading up to that energy. We are either going to cut ties with someone or a group of people. We're going to leave old groups, stepping into new ones maybe healthier spaces. Okay, there's a part of us that feel like I have to be healthier now. I need to go to a healthier, whatever that version is for you, I have to go to a healthier space. And so that's what I'm seeing for this week. The best manifestation days for this week are going to be Tuesday evening through Friday. That's when the moon is going to be moving through Taurus, prime time to really ground yourself and realign with everything that you want to get done. And feel supported. That is, when the moon comes into Taurus, I feel like one of the biggest things that we can really experience is support. And that is what this week's like best manifestation days are going to be for. If you are working on something really important, this is going to be the time to do it. We come into the weekend and the energy a little bit spicy. There is a distinct tonal shift, and it is spicy, a hot jalapeno, okay? Some bitchy moments or frustrations that are gonna pop up, but hey, sometimes, you just gotta let that inner Aries out and tell it like it is. It starts in Aries in the beginning of the week, and then it moves into Gemini towards the end of this week, and then there is some sharp exchanges that may come up. And I think that this is going to be a moment where we just start to realize, like, okay, we think differently, and we have a moment of clarity that we can't really continue on holding things in, then there is like a pop of energy that happens during the weekend. I want to also cover real quick the storyline of the nodes, and I'm going to do this every single week. The North and South node are going to be, if you are following astrology, if you're not following astrology, I just want to recap real quick. The nodes have changed, and they are now in the storyline of Pisces in the North node and Virgo in the South node. I will cover this more in detail in another episode, but for now, what I want to tell you is that this week they're moving from 28 degrees into 27. So pretty much all week they're going to be at 28 degrees. And this means faith over fear. We're manifesting new faith, and we're releasing outdated details from the past. You see, we're not quite releasing the past all the time, but there are details about the past that are breaking down. And this week we're starting to realize, okay, I'm manifesting a new faith. I feel more hopeful. I'm coming into this week like I'm rebooting. I am feeling different. The past in certain aspects doesn't define me anymore. And holding on to those fears feels pointless. And that is sort of the internal dialogue and the storyline that is unfolding wherever the nodes are transiting in your chart. It's like when you're realizing you've been stressing over a text that you sent 3 days ago, but then the other person still hasn't read the text yet. That is sort of like the energy a little bit, like you're making a really big deal out of things that in the past were a big deal, but now really aren't a big deal. So there is a moment of realizing that your faith will start to rise over the fear, which is a really good thing. More on this for next week. Next week is going to be a big week. Make sure you tune in, you subscribe, you don't miss the episodes. And I have to say that when I was looking over the nodes, this was hitting deep from me, because I have been working with my personal story on releasing my chronic illness setbacks from the past 5 years. And I used to expect the worst, but now I have been catching myself really just saying, like the other shoe has not been dropping. Things have gotten better. And what if the other shoe never really drops? What if things actually start to get better? This has been the new sort of shift for me, and it's been hitting me deep. What about you? I want to know what your week is like. I want to know what you're experiencing. Anything you want me to cover in these quick weekly episodes, DM me on IG or TikTok. Again, it is on Astro Sky. Aylin, what old fears are you finally letting go of? DM me, let me know. If you send me your astrology questions and insights for next week's episode, I am going to be super grateful. And every 500 downloads, I am going to be giving away a free reading plus Soul Sky Star merch. I will cover this more in detail in the next episode. But to enter, all you have to do is sign up for my newsletter so that you're part of the newsletter list. And then I will be picking someone every 500 downloads to give away a free reading and Soul Sky Star merch. The link is in my bio. Don't forget to check it out. So that's your AstroTea for the week. New momentum, big shifts, and a fresh start. Maybe a little bit of a bitchy weekend, but we're going to get through it. Take that leap and, just make sure that you continue to raise the belief in yourself And if things backfire a little bit, you can blame it on Mercury because it is in a funky place right now, but we're gonna cover more next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, share, tag me in the astrology moments on Instagram or TikTok. Again, Astro Sky. Aylin, see you next week for another round of the chaos or manifestation magic. Which one is it gonna be? I don't know yet, but we will cover it. Talk to you then.